Thanks for joining me on today's video. I'm bringing you a special treat for my health and wellness topic on my channel, and I will be making breaded veal meatballs with roasted veggies for the sides. So stay tuned if you're interested in this video. And here is a host of the spices I'll be using. I'll be using some onion powder, some cayenne pepper, some garlic powder, and some olive oil. And here's a host of utensils I'll be using with 1 egg, 2 bowls, and a baking dish. And here is the veal. So I'll be starting out with mixing the egg with the veal. You can also use ground beef, ground turkey, or ground lamb, whatever you prefer. And I am taking some black pepper, and I'm going to sprinkle some of that in the mix. And I love this seasoning. I haven't been able to find it in the local market, but I love it. It's great on baked potatoes, but you can also use it on meat. And this is onion powder. And it may look like I'm putting a lot of seasoning in the meat, but it's not. It is actually doesn't have a lot of pop. So I'm adding a lot more than it looks. These seasonings are not very strong. And then I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil. That just brings out the flavor of the meat, I notice, when I put olive oil in the meat. And stir well. Sprinkle a little bit more salt. I hate when I make something and you can't taste the salt, or it's not seasoned well, so I make sure that I season my food very well. So here I am going to add the panko breadcrumbs. And these, I just love panko breadcrumbs because it really adds a crunch to whatever you're making. So this is my top pick for breadcrumbs for baking. And also I should add that the breadcrumb is diluting a little bit of the seasoning, so even though I did seem to put a lot of seasoning, it did kind of dilute the meat. And here I'm just adding a little bit more breadcrumbs on top because I just love that crunch. And with the olive oil, it will deep fry it, so it makes it really crispy. And again, this looks like a lot, but it really isn't, and it came out really flavorful, so, and yummy. So sometimes you can't go wrong with a little bit more spice. More spice, it's better to have more spice than not enough, and that's just a matter of my opinion. A host of veggies that I'm going to be roasting. So we have our mushroom, tomato, onion, and sweet pepper. I mean, not sweet pepper, I mean sweet potato. And I'm using a handy knife, which you'll see is not so handy because it's a paring knife, and I really shouldn't have been using that knife. I would recommend getting a larger bowl because, as you will see, this bowl was very tiny for me to fit all these vegetables in the bowl. And what I want to recommend is that you cut out any kind of bruised or damaged surface of the vegetable or even a fruit, because any indentions of fingernails, I was told that, you know, because your fingernails hold a lot of germs and bacteria, that it also can go underneath the surface of a fruit or vegetable. So I always just make sure that I cut out any area that has nail embedded in the vegetable skin, just to be on the safe side. Red onions is one of my favorite fresh vegetables to really season and flavor the food. So that's one of my top picks to cook with. And I also love it in salads. hodgepodge of veggies. And here I am shaving the sweet potato skin. But what I found over the times that I've been making the roasted sweet potatoes is that it tastes much better with the skin on it and having it baked. I never knew that you can eat sweet potato skin. I always peeled it. I'm just going to mix that up, final mix. It was really hard for me to mix it in the bowl because it was so small. So you want to get a pan that has an edge, so since you're going to be using oil, you don't want anything to have a flat pan. You want to make sure that it has some edge to it. A medium-sized pan, enough to spread out the vegetables evenly.